Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get this started. Aiden, what's up? Button locks definitely aren't my first choice, but this should be interesting. Make sure I'm using the right tool. I hope you know that whatever message you just sent auto-corrected to say koala soup on my end. Because YouTube auto-translates stuff now. And it basically just assumes that everything that everybody says is not English. But yeah, I got this thing for a pretty decent deal. We'll probably be sharpening it. I don't want to do like a full reprofile or anything if I don't have to. The less modification on it I have to do, the better. Damn, that's a long screw. Holy shit. That is a really long screw. This is obviously the first time this one's ever been taken apart. Caged bearings, good. Would have sucked if these weren't caged. Oh, thank God. They have tracks too. Jake Hoback, you smart son of a bitch. I can't tell you guys how grateful I am that this thing has steel tracks in this. ZT doesn't do that. They really should, but they don't. Pisses me off. This is a Jake Hoback Sumo. Minty, what's up? Not a whole lot going on over here, just cleaning this. Stonewash DLC. No, it's not true. Some dude's been trying to buy it off me for at least a year, though. It's not even my table. Like, I don't own the table. So you're the one who keeps trying to buy it. But this time you have a new name. Because Mr. Minty definitely wasn't the name before. Yeah, why'd you retire that one? I use that for gaming, man. Your gamer tag. I've had a few different gamer tags over the years. Nope, I haven't sold it. Koenig. Koenig. If you're interested, it's significantly less than it was. It's priced at $625 right now. I've had it for a few months. At least it's been in my possession for a few months. I don't own it. I never did own it. Yep. Brand new right now, they're running about 800. Okay. Button in first. Along with that, we'll put some oil with the bearings. Oh yeah, I'd consider it a little bit low, but you know, the market hasn't been super interested in it, so this one I'm 50-50 on if I'm keeping it or not. I'd consider this one a grail knife for somebody. It's not my grail knife, but it's definitely somebody's grail knife. I wouldn't consider an Arius to be a niche product. I just don't think that I found the right buyer for one in that condition. One of the guys that works over at Chris Reeves interested in it. He just doesn't have the money for it. Oh yeah, this one brand new is $550, which is why I said this is definitely a grail for somebody. Still debating on if I'm keeping it or not. You lost it. Oh, whoops. That's the isopropyl alcohol bottle. How'd you lose it? Have you searched for it? Because it's likely still around. I wouldn't be surprised if, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be in great condition, but it's probably still going to be there in one piece. I don't think a house fire is going to get hot enough to melt titanium. Well, hey, a whole bunch of regulars are showing up again. I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'd tell him to search for it anyway, cause just because the Chris Reeve was in a house fire, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still in one piece. And that would be a hell of a story for a knife. Surviving a house fire. Yeah, you told me about that last time you were on here. Beautiful. Hopefully that's going well. I would do whatever I could to find that knife. Especially if it's somebody else's. Yeah, I stopped doing lives for a while. My official excuse is the seat that I sit in is really hot. The other side of things is I had nothing new to talk about. Well, a spring just went flying. Hey, I found it. Jesus. Oh, that was luck that you'd find something that small. Well, I recommend. I know it's going to be hard because you're asking somebody to search through their burned down house to find a knife, but that knife now has a hell of a backstory. Yeah, I'm still in Idaho. That's not going to change anytime soon. On the edge, what's up? There we go. You piece of shit. Get in there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Go for it. Send him a message and ask. I mean, what's the worst he's going to say? No. No, I didn't see your knife in the wreckage of my house. I didn't see where that went flying. Oh, thank God, because that's kind of an important part. All right, we'll see you later, Hunter. You do better soon. Tell your dad to get well. I'd probably preface it with, hey, not to be a dick, but is there any chance you saw my knife when you went back? I will warn you that since it's been in a house fire, it no longer has a warranty. Because that titanium is now heat treated. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, when I first bought this thing today, when I first handled it, I was like, why are these things $550 new? I get it now. It's comfortable. It's smooth. Oh, and if you do end up getting it back, it needs a new blade. I know for a fact that house fires get hot enough to ruin tempers on blades. So your blade is going to be soft. It's going to be a while before I make or have anything made. The company that Knives I Guess and I have been working with, they're shelving our project for a little while. They got to handle some of their own stuff. No, I'm a ways out from having my own stuff made. Still need to set up an LLC. Still need there's a lot of stuff that I need to do first. Got to make sure that the tax stuff is taken care of. That's a big deal. I'm not making that mistake. Taxes will be done properly because I'm not getting my shit taken because I fucked up taxes. I don't think I'd pick any other country to live in long term. Good luck. I have all of my expensive knives in one box. If a house fire ever started, I'm taking that box. That box has $4,000 worth of knives in it. And that's a pretty good jump start on getting out. It's a big deal. I'm not used to expensive button locks. I still think this thing's overpriced at $550. That's a lot of money. It's a lot smoother than it was now that I cleaned it and properly lubed it. It is a good knife. No new Benchmates up for sale right now. Spyderco, I just sold a PM2 and Maximate. I broke even on that thing. I wish I made profit. I didn't. Oh, actually, I do have a Spyderco up for sale now that I'm looking at it. So I first got to show you the other knife, and then I'll show you the one that's for sale. So I bought one of the Tenacious in titanium. What originally happened was I bought, is it this one? Yeah. This one. And this one is in D2 with the lightning tie finish. It's beautiful in person. This thing looks like shit on camera. But I promise you, it looks so much better in person. So this one's up for sale, now that I have that one to replace it. Now the action on this one needs to be broken in because it's got the coating. This one's uncoated, so it's a lot easier to move it. Do they make a Tenacious in MagnaCut? If they did, I'm interested. He won't look for it? Oh. You should go find it yourself then. Ask him what room it was in, and then there you go. Start looking. As for price, it is brand new. The only thing it doesn't come with is the sticker and the little thing telling you that this steel. Oh no, it has that. The one telling you that this steel isn't stainless. Brand new, I think it's 185. And I could go for 130. These things did not sell very well, and I get it. But once you have one in hand, it completely changes your mind. I did not expect it to be as nice as it is. These things are amazing. With the coating, though, it takes some getting used to. Well, shit, I might just buy one of those and swap the blade out on this one for MagnaCut. That'd be sick. But yeah, the reason I don't want this one anymore, mainly, there's two of them. I don't want to scratch that finish. And it's a little slick. It really is. I'm scared I'm going to drop it. I'll admit, I kind of wish I got this one with the black blade because this thing is a fingerprint magnet. Everything leaves fingerprints on it. You look at it wrong and it gets fingerprints. I should warn you about the one problem this knife has. The centering isn't perfect. It is slightly off to the right. Mine does that too. Mine's actually further off to the right. But it seems to be a common thing with this model, which is weird. Paul Mills, what's up? How's it going? I'll be honest, I would probably drive 700 miles to try and find a Sebenza. It would cost more in gas than buying a new one. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it would, just about. He was asking if I had any Spydercos for sale, and this is one of the few that I have up for sale. He said he'll get back to me on Friday, though. I've always got stuff for sale. As per usual, I still have the Koenig up for sale. It is sitting at $625 right now for anybody that's interested. All my prices always include shipping. Okay, so apparently it's still up for grabs then. Always got to clean this thing before I put it away. Yeah, it's a full-size Arius. It is a Gen 1, so it has, I'll bring it up real quick. Give me just a minute. What is this box for? Oh, my other Tenacious. Okay. I can probably do a payment plan. Probably, not guaranteed. But yeah, it's a full size. Well used. It's Cerakote, it's not DLC. And DLC does look different, which I didn't even think about that until like just now. I might just keep this one, which is unfortunate because the money from this was going to go towards getting myself a getting towards a Hawk Talon. Diversifying isn't terrible. It's weird because I don't look at this as a $550 knife. I really don't. Every time that I look at this thing, I think of like 300, which is about what they're selling for on the secondary. Because these things, it didn't move very well, obviously. I don't like the stitch. There isn't a version of the stitch that I find to be comfortable, is my problem. Right? So when I hold a stitch, yeah, it's 216 from Cubi with the same steel. So you're paying double just to have it made in America. You're paying almost double and a half. So 2.5 times. Where's my sharpening stone? Because I think I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it. I might have my first Sebenza going up for sale here pretty soon. I'm still debating on it. I want to keep it because of the sentimental value there, but I could sell it and put the money towards getting a Hawk instead. Lately, I've been carrying the Umnumzon a lot. I did not hear about that. That would probably explain why their value dropped so much. Because if these aren't really made in the US, then yeah, that would absolutely ruin secondary values on these. Do we know who the OEM was at the very least? My favorite EDC right now is the Umnumzon. I've gotten used to carrying that. I don't know. It's not my favorite design. I bought it to resell it. From what I've heard, the best low cost EDC knife right now is a Miguron Karok. It's got D2 at 63 or 62 to 63 HRC for $37 or even less, depending on the handle material you pick. I'm about to go get one of those probably tonight. I just need to know if their website is trustworthy or not. It's Karok. I don't know if they made a titanium version. I know they did aluminum. Aluminum is 37. I think it's like 35 for the G10. If they made it in titanium, I'd probably have one already. Yeah, but Kaiser's heat treats lately have been questionable at best. I want a guaranteed good heat treat. We've already had the Carrick tested, and it's hit the numbers that they're saying, so I'd probably stick with that. So this thing's heat treated harder than I thought it was, which is why my little Arkansas stone isn't doing shit. Miguron's about the only company taking D2 to the level that it deserves to be. 62, 63 is really good for D2. Well, I cut myself on the thumb with something. What it was, I have no clue. I forgot that there's super glue on my middle finger. And if Metal Complex made a video, I didn't watch it. He kind of left everybody behind when he started doing the super expensive models. It's kind of all he ever shows. Oh, basically, yeah. D2 is definitely the new standard for budget steel. Even then, though, you're going to want the best heat treat you can get. And if you just happen to be able to get it at 62 or 63 HRC, nobody's going to complain. I think D2 started being used in knives back in the 70s. It was insane that people were using it back then, too. And the reason why is way back in the 40s, the thing that it was being used for was tooling. It was used to cut other steels. I still haven't even apexed on this thing. Son of a bitch. And I don't have a lower grit than 400 that I can trust. Oh yeah, it's a tool steel. It's meant for tooling. The fact that somebody said, well, why don't we just use this in a knife? Must have been mind-blowing back in the 70s. Chaw, what's up? How's it going? I've had some glitchy 8CR that was. I had some 12C27 that I swear that stuff was forged by like a god. And funny enough, it was from CRKT. It had like disgustingly high edge retention. Glad to hear it. I couldn't sharpen it. This was back before I had all the stones that I have now, but I couldn't sharpen it back then. It just wasn't going to happen. So this knife was made in China, huh? That's unfortunate. Seems like a scammy thing to do. Lying about where your stuff is made. I don't think I could ever do that. It's like if I offered a product, right? And I tell you guys that it's hand sharpened by me, but it's not. That's another thing. Money doesn't mean anything to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm always trying to make a profit on something, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys about it to make a profit. You like turtles? I like trains. A few of you are gonna get that. Maybe one of the 5 of you is gonna get that. Well, I apexed on the majority of it. Well, at least this thing's fidget friendly. Okay. Wipe this one off. Then we'll move up one more. To the natural stone. Yet again. I'll admit, he's where I learned most of my skills from. I taught myself how to do it while holding a stone. I've seen Jared do it a few times, but I never really watch his videos. Just the way he talks, I can't get behind it. He's still great at sharpening, though. Well, it shaves pretty easily now. I use Lacey's stuff. I need to shake it again, but I reapply like once every couple months after sharpening like 200 knives or something. I'll tell you, once you reapply though, ooh, it does a lot in a very little amount of time. Yeah, that thing is sharp. And when I go for polishing, I use stainless polish on my second strop. Those are the only two strops that I have. Oh, easily. I'll go grab a paper towel here in a minute. I gotta clean this off. Now, something that isn't brought up very often, and I bring it up every time that I sharpen a knife. When you reprofile, there's going to be a burr that's going to cut from the backside. What I do is I take my natural stone, I do 1 or 2 passes to take the burr off, and that's it. You don't need to do more than that. Diamond stone, you can do it too. It'll be 1 pass on a high grit stone. It'll take the whole burr off, so that way it doesn't get caught on things. It's not something you'll really notice it get caught on until it catches on like a thread on your pants and it just pulls the whole thread. It'll annoy the shit out of you the one time it happens. Fucking ruined a pair of pants. Oh, pull it out of your pocket. Whip it out. Grabs onto the seam on the side of your pants, and then just wham, you got a hole in your pants now. Piece of shit. I don't remember what knife did it, but it pissed me off. Can I ever get a flat paper towel? Once. Just once. And of course it curls. Of course. It's definitely paper towel sharp though. First time sharpening 20 CV, by the way. It feels sharp. That's a weird comment, but steels like Maximit and Rex 121, they don't feel sharp when they are. S90V is kind of the same way, depending on how thin it is behind the edge. But this one definitely feels sharp. Ooh, but how sharp is the tip? It cut just fine. Yeah. I had some dude ask me that. Like, I was sharpening a knife for him, and he's like, "Did you make sure to sharpen the tip?" No, I forgot. You're paying me $20 to sharpen your knife, and I forgot to sharpen the tip. Orsmith, what's up? 20CV, 204P, and M390 are all the same. Technically, they're just from different companies. This one's 20CV. So it's from Carpenter, I think. No, it's from Crucible. Carpenter is 204P. And then M390 is Bowler. I kind of like it though. It's very fidgety. I didn't expect to like it. Now I need to know the... I've been told a horrible rumor. It's a Jake Hoback sumo. Oh, the phone's about to die. It's at 0%. That's funny. It's the first time I've ever opened or turned on a phone and it says 0% and stays turned on. What do you mean, what? I found it at a pawn shop for a good deal. So I spent just about all my money on it. Oh, it's a Jake Hoback Sumo. SUMO. Frickin' voice crack. I'm still debating on whether I want to keep it or not. It does look kind of like something that Heretic would make. I think these were made like 6 years ago, though. Which is why they're in 20 CV and not MagnaCut. Seems like everything that was made in 20 CV back in the blade, or back in the day, was replaced with MagnaCut now. I got it for a reasonable price. Again, I'm still not sure if I want to get rid of it. If I were to get rid of it, I'd probably price it around 300. But I think with this one in the collection, I might end up getting rid of the my 940. So if I do keep this, I'm getting rid of the 940. The 940 needs to be sent in for warranty, though. It's got really bad blade play. It's S90V in carbon. It's that one that you kept bringing up in the comment section on my lives way back in the day. I've gotten so used to titanium, I just really don't want carbon fiber. That knife has a story to tell. It was confiscated by TSA and then sold to a YouTuber. I think I fucked up. I haven't used this bad boy in a while. Usually I don't have to check the edge, but tonight I do. I don't like the vapor. I didn't like the narrows. The narrows was too narrow. It was really uncomfortable. I did an Apex. Like, at all. That scratch pattern is clean. But I did an Apex at all across the whole thing. That scratch pattern was beautiful. No option to remove what? Nope, I can't remove any of the stuff because it's inside the magnifying, or it's inside the thing, so there's nothing I can do about it. Cecil is there permanently, which surprises me. Oh, so that means that it was a burr that was cutting the paper towel. Let's fix that. Okay, no lubrication on this one. Hey guys, I'll be back in a minute. I gotta go check the garage. There was a raccoon in the garage. Okay, now I can check. Okay, so I apexed on one side. No, it's just a raccoon. It's been showing up in our garage for the last couple weeks. I tried closing the window a little further so that it couldn't get in, and apparently it found its way in. No, we're in the city. We're not out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, that's what's going on. Damn it. Yeah, I wasn't holding a consistent angle that whole time with this hand. Which is why I didn't apex that whole time. It's black bears out here usually, if anything. Well, now that we've apexed, I can go back to the natural stone and finish it off. It's a weird one, and it's not used often enough. But M42 high-speed steel has been amazing for its price range. It's got similar edge retention to 15V for about $60 to $80 when you can find it. It's a drill bit steel. Yeah, it's not stainless. It's high in cobalt. Edge retention is amazing though. And because it's high in cobalt, it can be, it has a high red hot hardness. So its wear resistance while being red hot is still insane. That being the case, it's also a bitch to temper because of the same reason. Okay, now it's sharp. It Rockwell's, it can be hardened up to 70. Its sweet spot in drill bits is 68 to 70, and on knives it can be done to like 67 or so. Edge retention similar to 15V. From Spyderco. Spyderco has not made a knife in M42 yet. You have to find it on Chinese websites like AliExpress. You can also sometimes find custom makers that'll do it, but because it's a bitch to heat treat properly, I doubt most custom makers will work with it. I'm curious because I tested this the other day and it seemed like it was easier to do. But is it really? wet paper towel. Ooh. Well, it glides right through it. The tip doesn't do it when you're pushing down on it, though. I've never handled M398 yet. One of my Grail knives was in it, but I've moved beyond that Grail knife and I don't want it anymore. It was a knife by Fox Knives called the Chillin' Fate, or F8. And I wanted it, but I got into titanium frame locks, and it's just a titanium liner lock. It's got steel liners with titanium scales, and I'm just not into that. I'm gonna go see if the other phone is charged up enough yet. I'm glad I took this thing apart and cleaned it, though. Okay. I've wanted to try ZMAX and ZDP 189, but I don't want to spend the money. So the Sumo is made in China. Wonderful. That's sad. Well, it's a good looking knife. Yeah, I just don't want to spend $150 on a Delica. The last Delica I bought, I spent 40 on it. And I really didn't like it very much. I'll stick with my titanium knives. Question is the whole blade ZDP 189 or is it San Mai ZDP 189? It really doesn't change much. I was just curious. I want to see if that guy. So there was a guy that had a purple one of these. I want to see if he still has it and maybe if he wants to trade. If I had a purple one of these, I might actually keep it. Yeah, that guy hasn't responded. ACG, what's up? How's it going? Chris Reeve Umnum's on at the moment. I carry that thing almost every day. It's upstairs in a box with all my other expensive stuff for the most part, because I wanted to try this one. And then instead of sticking with this one, I went and bought that one. So, because I can never seem to have enough knives. It's always, oh, hey, this one looks cool. Oh, hey, I can afford that, barely. Oh, hey, I actually have money for once. And then it's, oh, hey, I'm broke. Oh, hey, wasn't I supposed to save up for this knife? And yeah. So here we are. Fun little project that I've been doing. It took me an hour. Did this little ultralight mod. It's a Camillus something. It comes with bolsters and no scales because you're supposed to make your own scales. And then I took the bolsters off. I shortened the pivot nut, and you have to have washers on this side for this to work, like a few of them, because the pivot nut isn't fully threaded like I thought it was. But yeah, this thing weighs 2.1 ounces. With full steel liners. It's thinner than a bug out. Don't get me wrong, the blade steel on this thing is going to be dog shit, but it was just a fun little thing that I spent an hour making, or an hour modifying, and $24 after tax to buy it. Overall, it's not terrible. It's kind of fun having a liner lock that you turn into a frame lock. And it's so light that when I had it in my pocket earlier, I forgot that I was carrying it. I've got the Arius that I need to get rid of still. It's been hard to find a buyer for this. I've come down on price about as far as I can. It's sitting at 625. It's not, originally it was sitting at 12. So it's almost half of what it was when I first got it. This one I got today. If you're talking about the newest model, or the newest model would be this one. The newest knife in the collection was added today, and it was this one. If you're, I don't know what you're asking on that last one right there. The green's interesting. I'm not a fan of green personally. I'd pick purple over green. But it's not a bad looking knife by any means. As I was saying to KC3, I'm debating on keeping it. I'm slightly leaning towards keeping it. I might, depending on how good of a condition another one would be, I might trade it for one in the same colorway except for purple. But I think I might just end up keeping this one and then selling the 940. It's one of those knives where, like, you kind of want to have it just to have it. I have other knives to carry. But that's also the reason why I'm not sure if I want to keep it, because I could replace this with a Hawk Talon and be happier. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody complaining about a Hawk Talon before. This thing has developed a slight bit of lock stick though. So I'm going to handle that real quick. Yep, Talon and a Yeah, the Deadlock isn't on my list because OTFs aren't my thing. But the Talon and a Roosevelt are the last pieces on my Grail list. I think the only OTF that I would give a chance is an Axial Shift. And only because of the blade shape. Nope, I won't buy a Microtech. Not an OTF anyway. I haven't been happy with their models. The ones that I've handled anyway. There it is. I've handled a Luminary. I didn't really like it either. They're just too expensive. To be fair, the only Luminary I've handled was a limited edition run that came with a Surefire flashlight, and it was $1,500. I can only assume you're paying for the flashlight too, like a good chunk for that flashlight. Yeah, I got a Jake Hoback Sumo, which I have just recently learned was made in China, not in the US. I'll be honest with you guys, the only reason I bought it was because it was titanium and I could turn around and sell it for a profit. So, So what are you doing scrolling YouTube? Here in a few minutes, I'll probably end the stream and then go to bed. Maybe I'll get to sleep at a decent hour tonight. Well, now it's tuned, which didn't take as long as it usually does. Usually tuning, depending on the knife, will take up to 30 minutes. think tuning my Nkosi took 45, and tuning my Umnumzon took 30. It's not a fun game. Sounds good though. Ting. You can tune a lot of things. You could probably tune a coin by making cuts in it. Make it make certain sounds when you drop it. You guys probably can't hear it, but the really light ting that this sound makes, or this knife makes. Yeah, I'm leaning towards keeping it. I know you want me to keep it, because if I keep it, then my 940 goes up for sale. It sounds amazing. It really does. My Nkosi makes a similar sound because of the pocket clip. No, the Nkosi sound is from the pocket clip. This one might be from a stop pin. Does this have a stop pin? This one doesn't have a stop pin. Damn, I gotta loosen it a little bit. That sucks. Because it has no blade play right now. Please, just make it so the slightest bit of loosening is enough. A little tighter. If you mean knife oil, the stuff that I use is just mineral oil. It's food safe. It works really well. So I slightly over tighten that. Yeah, so the stuff I use is a laxative. It's this stuff. You buy it by the quart. I buy it 2 quarts at a time, and I put it in these tiny bottles here, and then I put tiny drops on my knives. I use it as a rust inhibitor, and I use it as a lubricant for bearings and washers. Lately for washers, I've been using the Chris Reeve grease, but some washers really don't like that stuff, which is weird. Benchmades don't like it. Like this one hates grease. It loves oil. It hates grease. I'm pretty sure that this one hates grease too. I'll go with an Inkosi. As a work knife, it's just amazing. I can treat it like shit, and it doesn't care. And no matter how dusty it gets, it always opens. I use my Inkosi for everything. Oh, mine Cosie's covered in scratches. But I use it for stuff like weeding. So, digging in the dirt. I've literally used it for digging. And I almost felt bad for it. Almost. You know, you just stick your knife blade in there under a weed, and you cut the roots down below, and then you pry the whole thing up, and then you just let it sit there and die. That would be what I did with that thing. Thing is, if I did get a shovel, it would take longer than me just shoving a knife in the dirt and then pulling it back out. So that's what I did. I'll stick with using Mayankosi as a weed killer. No, that's a tenacious. I don't have a shaman. I have a lot of Spydercos, but a shaman isn't one of them. I see. I've never owned one. I've never had the chance to get one below MSRP. Not that I do want one. I was just saying, if I had the chance to get one for less than MSRP, I might have had one already. I have a Manix 2 lightweight in 15V. It's fine. I don't have any complaints about that one or anything. Like the Manix 2 wouldn't be my first Spyderco of choice. My number one would be probably a Para 3. See, this is where the tuning takes forever. Yeah, my work knife, I mean, I've already said it a few times. My work knife is my Nkosi. I do everything with that thing. I treat it like trash and it comes back for more every time. No, I'm good. Because I'm single is why I can afford all this stuff. As well as the fact that I barely pay anything for rent. I've been tuning it wrong. One new knife a week? Shit, I get one like every month. One good one, though. But to afford that one, I sell like 2 or 3. Okay, I think we have 0 blade play left now that it's... Nope. You should ask me what I have new that's every week. You know, what new knives I have to sell you every week. My Umnumzon was new. Yeah, I bought it new. It's not for sale, but it was new. Yeah, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I don't treat it as bad as I treat my Nkosi, but I use it a lot for food prep, which you wouldn't expect out of a hard use knife like that. But it's not as hard use as people make it seem. It's thinner behind the edge than an Nkosi, which means the blade is a bit more delicate. It's MagnaCut, yeah. That's all they use right now. Except for the Impinda. The Impinda, they make like 50 of them every year. And they use S35 for that until they run out. But everything else is in MagnaCut. The current knife I need to get rid of is the backpacker. The Chris Reeve backpacker that I got. I never saw how much the vapor was going for, but that's disgusting. It's aluminum and MagnaCut. And the worst part is you're paying more for less. One of my buddies wants one. I told him it's ugly. He said, "No, you're ugly." Probably should have responded with something like, "We'll get rid of the beard and we'll find out who's really ugly." You don't even know what's under that thing. I wouldn't get it if I were you. If you already have a Narrows, you're not going to like the Bug Out anymore. Yep. And I'll bet you all the aftermarket parts that the knife community has come up with for the Bug Out won't fit. It's got lock stick again. I'll try and fix it one more time. Yeah, that's disappointing. I can't say I'm surprised. I'm still disappointed though. No, I am definitely not pulling out a Dremel on a knife that's selling for $300. I'll do it on my cheap knives. I won't do it on this one. Yes, I'll use super glue. No, not for pivot lube. I use super glue for Loctite. Works wonders. Don't knock it till you tried it. Instead of having to wait at least 30 minutes for it to set, it sets instantly. The thing is, when I Loctite a knife, I want to play with it now, not tomorrow. So, super glue. Red Loctite still takes time to cure. Like I said, super glue is instant. I don't need to wait. I like clear Loctite the best. Super cheap, you can get it at the dollar store. And it works great. There was something I was going to do. Yeah, you're telling me. I'm joking, it's not getting super hot here. And I'd prefer it stay that way. I'm about tired of it hitting over 100 every year. There. A little more. Well, it's a lot better than it was. I think I'll leave it at that. It's got a little bit of blade play when it's closed. Oh, but it's got some when it's open too, and I don't want that. You know what's sad is I could instantly fix this problem if I took it to a stone. I could have this problem finished in seconds because the backspacer's too thick. In seconds, I'm joking. It would take longer than that, but the whole reason why it has blade play when it's closed, but none when it's open, is because back here is thicker than up here. That's what I was measuring earlier. I might just sand it down. I've got about 15 minutes before I need to end the stream. Okay. So when we have it open, 494, 493. Yep, we'll go with 493. $492, $492, $491. It's super close. I can do it. It's just really close. I think I'm going to do it. It's not going to be a noticeable difference on the color. There's going to be some silver here instead of green. Risky, risky. I have to be very careful. It does. Perfection is what gives you that drop, that perfect guillotine action. Without having blade play. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to measure this. You seeing the problem yet? And I want to see if I can make this work without the backspacer in it. Just using this pin. That's a risky play too, but we'll see. Then we're going to measure up in this area. You'll see, I'll show you what the issue is. This line on that track on the blade. Towards the front, it's deeper than it is towards the back. And the reason why is because there's more space between the scales at the back of the blade than there is at the front. The difference between these two is probably less than 0.01 of a millimeter, but it causes issues with yeah, it's from wear because of imperfections in production. I had the same thing going on with one of my other knives, and I thinned out the backspacer by 0.02 millimeters, and it was perfection after that. Drop shut action, no blade play. It was perfect. It is. It's patience. The worst part about this is this pin, the hole for this pin goes all the way through. So I can't use that pin right now. Okay. Now we tighten this. $496, $485. Okay, so I need to loosen this one. Keep going. $502, $508. Tighten it again. When it's all even, let's not lose a pin. That's a very important pin. $504, $507, $508. $5, $508, and $516. The scales aren't flat. Where's the thinnest? And this is will this fit? it would. Just like that. But there's play. Well, I'm going to see if I can do that. How much is it sitting at in the front? $471. Okay. 471 is what we're going for in the front. Ooh. Because that thing had impeccable action at that thickness. Okay. 471. How in the hell did that pin get on there again? Now, as is with it loose, so I need it tighter than that. I think the bottom of the backspacer needs thinned. These are the finishing touches for what I would consider custom pieces, right? When you're dropping $800 on a knife, this is what I expect the final guy putting that together to be doing for like the last hour to 2 hours of putting it together. And that may sound stupid, but that's how you get perfection. Especially when you don't do, and this is going to sound mean, but this is not clean machine work. You can tell because the scales aren't flat. I know it's Chinese. It's just the MSRP for this knife is $550. Okay, clean machine work. Chris Reeve doesn't even do the specs that I'm wanting, and that is insane to say. But the scales that come from Chris Reeve aren't flat. I think the only company that gives a shit about stuff like this is Grimsmo. Their tolerances, I think, are the tightest tolerances on the market right now. They get drop shut action on frame locks. Immaculate. It just slams down all the way. You'd think it was a button lock. It just slams. And they do that because I think it's John Grimsmo gives a shit. Their tolerances are insanely tight. That's kind of why I want one. It's not first on the list. A Norseman is on the list. I just really don't like that blade shape. I think a Rask runs about 1,000 to 1,100. It for low end models. Nope. I don't want a button lock. I want a frame lock. And the only model that they make a frame lock of is the Norseman. Maybe that's what I need to do. When I have my knives made, I have them made at a millet standard, and then I take a few out of the batch and do my standards, because I think my standards are higher than millets. They have to be. Thing is, that finishing work is going to be expensive. I did all that just to fix a little bit of lock stick, by the way. It doesn't have lock stick anymore. very little blade play when it's open. And the funny part is, to do that, all I had to do was back off this screw just a little bit. But I spent that whole time doing everything. I ended up backing off this screw. Thing is, backing off that screw affected up here. It's not your first go-to decision on that. Now I got myself sitting here thinking about a Norseman. You would have looked at the pocket clip screw first, is what you're saying. That's not what I usually do. For lock stick, usually I screw around with the lock face first. And that typically fixes it. I'm not used to button locks though. I just care about my stuff. Specifically my knives. Well, at least I've gotten used to the sound of that knife at this point. Played with it so damn much. Again, single. Probably going to stay that way for a while. Thing is, I don't take as good of care of my truck as I should. Well, that's going in the box. Probably carry the Nkosi again, maybe sell this one and get a Norseman instead. Thing is, I know I can get a Norseman. I'm not sure if I can get a Talon. I can find a user Norseman for like 700. So I'll probably end up selling this one, and I might end up selling the 940 too. And use the money from those to go in on a Norseman. And if I don't like the Norseman, then I'll go sell that and end up with a Talon. I want a used Norseman though. I don't want to spend $1,000 on a new one because then I got to pay tax on it too. I'm gonna pay tax on it anyway. All right, Blade Binge, what do you have for sale? There was one on eBay, a Norseman in pink, and I was debating on it, but I want one that's plain. I don't want anything special going on about it. I don't want any special milling, which is why it's hard to find one that I want. See, like this one, $700. I don't want a Sonora. I've thought about it, and I just don't think that they're for me. $700. Thing is, I don't want CPM 154 either. I don't like spending that much money on that. You know? Like, I don't care that it's a user. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's. I care about the steel too. Maybe this one. I don't usually go for coated blades. I've thought about getting a winter blade. They're just, I know I'm still sticking with the whole frame lock thing for now, which is why the Sonora is off for now. Oh shit, there's only 6 Norsemans on Blade Bench. Okay. Why does this dude want so much for it? I get it's brand new in box, but they're like dropping shit all the time. And brand new, they're like 11. eBay, come rescue me. I could understand if it was marked up because they're hard to get, but they're not. They're everywhere. This dude's got the same knife for 1200. 5,000. God damn. Hmm. I don't know. I think I'll just wait for the right one to show up. Maybe I'll just check their website while I'm here. Wow, would you look at that? You know what sucks is they have the exact model that I want in stock on their website right now for $9.90. See, look at this. Stonewashed titanium handles. That's all I want. Right there. It's perfect. It's brand new. Made in March, I guess. everything I want. I'm curious what kind of payment options there are. Hmm. Oh hell, $44 for shipping, fully insured. So yeah, it looks like I'm probably going to be about $1,000 into the model that I want. Oh, so yeah, $1,034. Go ahead and pay now. Not. I don't have the money for that. I want it. I really do. I'd probably sell a Sabenza for that. I don't know. I'm leaning on keeping that. I'm not sure. I'm really not. Usually I'm not all that indecisive on things. See, the thing is, I still need to sell stuff like this. Which I've been sitting on for a while. It's been hard to move. That one's tuned with a light detent. I've got to wait a while. I still have a ZT in the shop being worked on. It's a Hinderer design ZT. I need that thing finished before I move forward. Ugh. I think I'll keep it. This one I need to fix before I sell it. Although at this point I don't think there's anything I can do. Someone used it for prying and they bent one of the liners. So I might just sell it as is. This one I don't need anymore. Thing is, I'm not looking to have more grails on my list. I'm looking to be done collecting for a while. The problem is I keep moving around my collection so much. Because there's always something new, there's always something better. I'm wanting to sell some stuff, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I still have my personal collection that I'll keep. And some of the channel's collection I'll probably keep for a while. But there's a lot of stuff that I need to move before I can afford to buy anything else. Especially with the way that I bought that Umnumzon. It is the one and only time I will take money out of savings to buy a knife. Because with the amount of money, I'd prefer to sell them off one piece at a time. But, well, let's see. I have a leak with D2 blade as well. So that's 10 right there that I'm trying to get rid of. I've got a Buck 110 Slim Hunter in S30V and micarta. Those are a little pricey because they're discontinued. This blur is for sale, but I need to send it in and have the blade redone. it needs a new blade. There's a crack in this one. And I don't want to sell it like that. Civivi Sentinel Strike 2. This is about the only knife in Nitro V that I've gotten with a good heat treat. This model, or this one specifically. For now, that's about 12 or 13 right there that I'm trying to get rid of. There's a lot more than just that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there so I can get some sleep before tomorrow. I've got stuff that I need to do tomorrow. It's a Victorinox Florist. That thing has a fresh edge. It's nasty sharp too. Shut up, Joseph. I know it's tomorrow. Unfortunately. They do. The softer steels get stupid sharp. They don't hold the edge for very long, but yeah, they do get very sharp. Stuff like that. This one I'm probably going to end up selling to a pawn shop for like $10. Oh yeah. They're kind of a bitch to sharpen in my personal opinion, but this one I got to be pretty sharp too. It's because it's a chisel grind, yeah. But that's not why I had issues with it. I struggle with flat edges. If it has no curve, I struggle with holding a proper angle. I had the same thing happen to this, where this one was flat and now it's a recurve. Like, it's still sharp, it's just now it's not a flat edge anymore. You can see, if you stuck it on a flat surface, you can see light under it. Or not. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream there. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night, day, morning, whatever it is. And we'll see you in the next one.